So here we have listed 5 important techniques. One is rotten tomato and possibility enhancer. Number 2 is statement consistency. Number 3 is conflicting statements. Number 4 is common sense and intuition. And the last one is linguistic deductions. Right? So these tips and techniques will help you to arrive at the right answer. Now let us have a look at each one of these techniques. Let us start with the first one, rotten tomato and possibility enhancer. Now before getting into the first technique, rotten tomato and possibility enhancer, the first and foremost thing you need to understand is to make an intelligent guessing. To make an intelligent guessing, you need to observe examiner carefully and examiner's way of thinking. That is very important. That means we need to understand that it is very difficult. It is very difficult to devise wrong statements. Getting it? That means examiner needs a very strong argument. Examiner needs a very strong argument to make a statement completely wrong in order to avoid controversies. Getting it? So that is one thing we need to keep in mind. Second thing is, we need to look for certain keywords in a particular question. So once you get a particular question, we need to understand, we need to underline the important keywords of that particular question. So what I am trying to say is, to avoid controversies, examiner will use certain words to make a statement completely correct or completely wrong. We call that words as extreme words. We call that words as extreme words. Now one such extreme word is rotten tomato. One such extreme word is rotten tomato, and another word is possibility enhancer. So what is actually rotten tomato? Rotten tomatoes, carefully understand what I am saying. Rotten tomatoes are extreme words used by the examiner to make a statement completely wrong. That means to avoid controversies, examiner will make sure that that particular statement is wrong in all aspects. In order to make sure a statement completely wrong, examiner will use certain keywords, certain extreme words. Such words are called rotten tomato. Now, if I talk about rotten tomato, I can actually give example. For example, drastically. Drastically is a rotten tomato. Enormously is a rotten tomato. All is a rotten tomato. Getting it? Or completely, it is a rotten tomato. That means examiner use these words to make sure that a statement is wrong in all aspects. So such words are called rotten tomato. Done. If I talk about a possibility enhancer, possibility enhancers are the words added by the examiner to make the statement completely correct. In order to avoid controversies, examiner will make sure that statement is correct in all aspects. Getting it? So such words are called possibility enhancers. For example, we have the words like many, can, some, etc. All these are possibility enhancers. Right? So now you got an idea what is rotten tomato, what is possibility enhancer. Now let us solve some questions with using the first technique, rotten tomato and possibility enhancers. And please note that all the questions which has been discussed in this particular session, they are actually taken from previous year prelims question paper, previous year UPSC question paper, right? So let us start with the first technique, rotten tomato and possibility enhancer. If I talk about this particular question, which of the following is a most likely consequence of implementing unified payment interface? Okay, if you read carefully all the four options, if you read option B, a digital currency will totally replace the physical currency in about 2 decades. Totally replace. FDI inflow will drastically increase. Direct transfer of subsidies to poor people will become very effective. What are these? These are rotten tomatoes. Examiner makes sure that statement is completely wrong in all aspects. So what is the answer for this particular question? Answer is A. Mobile wallets will not be necessary for online payments. Got it? So you need to actually look for the extreme words. You need to look for rotten tomatoes and possibility enhancers in that particular question. Getting it? So in that way you can eliminate options and arrive at the right answer. I hope this is clear. Now let us take another example. If I talk about this particular question, with reference to agricultural soil, consider the following statements. A high content of organic matter in soil drastically reduces its water holding capacity. So see, drastically, it is again rotten tomato. Soil does not play any role in the sulfur cycle, any role. So you can eliminate 1, you can eliminate 2. What is the answer? Answer is 3 only. Irrigation over a period of time can contribute. Over a period of time can contribute. There is a possibility to the salinization of some agricultural land. It is not all agricultural lands. Examiner used the word can, some. If it is like all agricultural lands, then statement would have been wrong. Getting it? So what is the answer for this? Answer for this is B, 3 only. So statement 1, you have extreme words, drastically. Statement 2, no role or any role. It is another extreme statement, extreme word. And common sense actually says that soil plays an important role in almost all cycles. Then how can sulfur be different? So we can eliminate 1 and 2 and we can arrive at the right answer. Answer is 3 only. Now the next question. What is the importance of using pneumococcal conjugate vaccines in India? These vaccines are effective against pneumonia as well as meningitis and sepsis. Dependence on antibiotics that are not effective against drug-resistant bacteria can be reduced. These vaccines have no side effect and cause no allergic reactions. Now read this. No side effect, no allergic reactions. Extreme statement. Vaccines have some side effects. It is no side effect. It is an extreme statement. So it is statement number 3 is wrong. So you can eliminate statement 3. So you can eliminate 2 options, right? You can eliminate C as well as D. Then what is left out? 1 only and 1 and 2. You read second statement, dependence on antibiotics, what can be reduced. It's a very safer statement, right? So with that logic, answer is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 actually answer is B. Now let us take, this was a question which is asked in last year, prelims 2020. Next question. What is or are most likely advantages of implementing GST? Now if you read statement 2 and statement 3, statement 2, it will drastically reduce current account deficit, again drastically, and will enable it to increase its foreign exchange reserve. It will enormously increase the growth and size of economy of India and enable it to overtake China in the near future. Enormously. Near future. These are actually the keywords. Getting it? So which is the following? Most likely in the sense very much possible. So you can eliminate statement 2, statement 3. What is the answer? Answer is A, 1 only. Statement 2 talks about drastically reduce. Statement 3 talks about enormously increase. Getting it? So why actually, like if I talk about GST, GST is an internal tax system, and if I talk about current account deficit, that is actually related to foreign trade. So there is no direct correlation between what? Between them. So can't say drastically increase or drastically decrease. Getting it? Sometimes what happens is, because of, in some cases because of GST, the trade can be better, can have some effect on what? Current account deficit. Then what happens? Statement becomes controversial. That is the reason examiner actually added the word drastically in order to make sure that statement is wrong in all aspects. Getting it? So answer is A, one only. Now next question. Which of the following statement is or are correct regarding Smart India Hackathon 2017? It is a centrally sponsored scheme for developing every city of our country into smart cities in a decade. Do you think that every city converting into smart city, is it achievable? No. If you read statement 3, it is a program aimed at making all the financial transactions in our country completely digital in a decade. Not even Scandinavian countries not have done this. So do you think that in a decade can we make all the financial transactions completely digital? No. So statement 1, statement 2, 3 can be eliminated. So what is the answer? Answer is 2 only. And if you read that particular statement, it is an initiative to identify new digital technology innovations for solving the many problems faced by the country. You see, many problems. Examiner didn't use the word all problems. That is not possible. Many problems, some problems. Getting it? So many is what? It is a possibility enhancer. So answer is 2 only. Done. Now next question. With reference to carbon nanotubes, consider the following statement. They can be used as carriers of drugs and antigens in the human body. They can be made into artificial blood capillaries for an injured part of human body. They can be used in biochemical sensors. Carbon nanotubes are biodegradable. Now if you see this particular question, you need to understand one thing. Technological future possibility cannot be ignored. Getting it? Technological future possibility cannot be ignored. There is always a possibility that a future research would vindicate them. Getting it? So can actually indicates what? Can actually indicates a possibility. Okay, it could be really hard. It will actually what? It would be really hard for the examiner to devise a statement otherwise. So in science and technology, especially application of science and technology questions. Okay, so you can have what? If the word can is there, possibility enhancers is there is high probability that that statement is correct. So in this case, statement 1, 2, 3, all these three statements are correct. So only option that matches D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Even if you are not sure about fourth statement, carbon nanotubes are biodegradable. Getting it? You can actually arrive at the right answer, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Getting it? So answer here is D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Next question, again the same logic. Organic light emitting diodes are used to create digital display in many devices. What are the advantages of OLED displays over liquid crystal displays? OLED displays can be fabricated on flexible plastic substrates. Roll-up displays embedded in clothing can be made using OLEDs. Transparent displays are possible using OLEDs. select the right answer. Okay, so I already told you, technology based statement with futuristic possibilities. Technology based statement with futuristic possibilities has a higher probability of being correct. Getting it? The logic is very simple. For a possibility to be considered as wrong, there should be strong backing. You might never know, a particular article might talk about that possibility, the next day this question appeared in the UPSC paper. Getting it? So if it is like what, if it is technological possibility, examiner will make sure that, examiner will use possibility enhancers in that particular statement to make sure that, to avoid controversies. Getting it? So here answer is C, 1, 2, 3, all of the above. Okay, so that is the first technique. The first technique, rotten tomato and possibility enhancers. Okay, so in rotten tomato and possibility enhancers, they are nothing but extreme words. So what you have to do is you have to actually look for extreme words in that particular statement. Okay, so these are actually the extreme words used by the examiner to make sure that a statement is completely correct or completely wrong. Every year, trust me, every year you will be able to solve at least 3 to 4 questions using this particular technique. If you go through last year's question paper also, you will be able to solve 3-4 questions using rotten tomato and possibility enhancer technique. Every year it is there. All right.